Howdy, dummies. I'm Dummy, and welcome back to the Dummy Dome. Damn, that is getting eerily close to the I'm Dale Dimmadome meme speech thing. But anyway, welcome back, or no, actually, welcome to the first episode of the behind the scenes podcast thing that I'm going to be making, hopefully once a week. I don't know how this is gonna go. I don't usually do super well when it's just me talking and there's nothing else happening around me, but we'll see how it goes. It shouldn't take that long either. I'm aiming for something that's between like 5 and 10 minutes. But yeah, so I guess first and foremost, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whenever that is. I don't know that holiday that much. Because I mean, I had my first video of 2023 come out on the 1st of January, and I'll get into it in a few minutes, seconds, whatever. But nothing in that felt very genuine. I mean, the message behind it was obviously genuine, but it was scripted, and I hate scripted shit. I hate it so much. Um, and so when I said Happy New Year in the beginning, it wasn't really, I didn't really mean it because I was just reading off of a script and I was really like on kind of a time crunch. And that's really what I wanted to talk about today, just the beginning of this daily upload schedule. Um, and you may have been able to tell if you've watched even just a little bit of the videos I've put out at the moment. So Monday, Tuesday, and I guess today's Wednesday. You'll probably be able to tell that these videos have been made in advance, like recorded a couple weeks in advance, edited like at least a week in advance. I've been preparing these things in advance. And you know what? It's the first week, and already, like, I already knew that doing a daily upload schedule was going to be a little difficult, but, like, I like that challenge. I don't just like putting resolutions out there like, oh, well, I'll do something new. It's like, I need something to challenge myself, which I guess is kind of in the definition of a normal resolution. So I was like, okay, so I'll do a daily schedule. I'll do all this preparation in advance, whatever, and everything was looking good until it wasn't. It came to be about Christmas, and stuff was very quickly going wrong. So like I put out the Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday videos, which were the Let's Plays, so those were easier. And I think the Wednesday video as well, because that was just some leftover footage I had from a very long time ago in the summer. Um, but I had this plan of, Christmas is the season to be receiving gifts and such, and so I had this idea that I'll get a certain video game that I've been waiting for, or maybe even two video games that I've been waiting for ever since I knew they were coming out. And then I'll put it on the channel and it'll go really well. And I'll have specific days specifically for them. It'll be great. One of those games was the Callisto Protocol, which unfortunately got a lot of bad reviews. And honestly, both of them got bad reviews. But let's talk about Callisto Protocol first. That was originally going to be one of the Let's Plays, but then it came out and it got really bad reviews critically, like story wise, and whatever. And I don't usually pay attention that much to it, but what I do pay attention to is technical difficulties. When there's actual technical problems, that's when I have an issue with it. And I kind of thought, well, I don't have the beefiest of PCs anyway. So if these bigger YouTubers, these bigger people who do this for a living of playing games, putting them on YouTube channels or doing reviews or whatever, if they are having really bad technical difficulties, I don't know if my PC is going to survive, and I don't feel like taking the risk of spending 60 or 70 bucks of hard earned money or hard saved up money, or even if they're my parents or friends' money. I don't want people wasting money on something I won't be able to actually enjoy and get zero benefit out. So that was the first one. But then that was easily resolved. I found there was a sale on all of the Resident Evil games. I really liked Resident Evil 7 when I initially watched it when I was younger and it first came out. Resident Evil 2, the remake, I knew got really high reviews, and I was like, oh, well, I liked 7, let's see if I like 2. So that has worked out, and I've been playing the shit out of both of them over the past couple weeks, whatever. So that's fine. That was the first problem resolved. Second problem, and this was a little more problematic, was the second game I was thinking of getting was Warhammer 40,000 Darktide. So it was like one of these horde shooters set in the Warhammer 40k universe. I know the lore of 40k. I paint the figurines. I've played the games. I really enjoy everything, and I'm talking tabletop games. I really like the universe, so I was like, oh, it's a horde shooter. It'll bring a bit of levity to the channel, and I'll just be able to throw it up there. Maybe I'll put it on the 1st of January. Have one of these like big, impactful, chaotic videos to like set the tone of this new coming year. And unfortunately, the closer I got to Christmas, the more technical problems were coming out. And similarly, I was thinking, well, I want the game, and it's probably fun, but is it worth it? It's because it's still, what, like $40, between 40 and $60, and I've already given my reasons why I have an issue of buying a game that I may not even be able to play and wasting that money. So it came up to Christmas. I didn't end up getting any games, which was slightly problematic for my YouTube ambitions, but okay in terms of economically. And then I was thinking, okay, well now I basically have a week to prepare everything for at least the first week of this new schedule. And I don't have something for the 1st of January, so what do I do? And then I was like, oh, well, maybe I shift the Let's Plays to, like, Sunday, have one, and then Monday, but then I was thinking, no, I don't really like the way that sounds. Maybe I'll play Dead by Daylight and put another video up on there, and I thought, no, I'm cutting it a little close for how I like it. And then for a while I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything for the 1st of January. It's settled, whatever. Then I ran into GTFO, and this was all coming like day after day, and I think it was about Thursday when I realized, oh, well, GTFO, there's a big sale on that. I'll get that and put it as my Sunday game, which then led me to say, oh, well, I'll put that as the 1st of January thing. It'll be chaotic. It'll be fun. It'll set the tone, the good tone for the new year. Basically, what I had planned with Warhammer 40k Darktide. GTFO is not a complicated game, but it is a hard game, and I don't have anyone to play with, and so just finding between having that issue of not having a specific group to play with, a group that I know at least, and also being new to the game, it tends to lead to gameplay and commentary that isn't as entertaining as it could be. And so suddenly it turned into, I can't have it as a first video of the new year, because it just basically makes my channel look super, super boring and out of sorts. And then I said, okay, well, I'll put that as the first Sunday after New Year's. That way, if people come and discover my channel, then I'll be able to kind of, they'll excuse one video out of 7 that didn't do so well, And then I was back at square, 16 when I said, okay, well, I won't have any video. Then I went and talked about it with my good friend, just about the whole thing, and I was basically complaining just the way I was complaining now. Or not complaining, but just talking about it, expressing my thoughts and my worries. And I basically gave him an option of I could either just start the year off well on the 2nd with a video, or I can try to do this introduction video of this final look back on 2022 and my ambition and plan for 2023. and just asked for his thoughts, and he was like, "Yeah, that sounds really really good." And I, from the get go, thought, "Oh well, it'll be 3 to 5 minutes, whatever," which it that is how it ended up turning out. And so I scripted it. I did a script. I read the script, or at least performed the script as best as possible. But you have to understand that this was literally Saturday, meaning the 31st or whatever of December. It was the last day of the year, and I wanted to schedule this for the next day. So I was really, really like at the end of my time. And so yeah, I made the script, I performed the script. I wasn't that happy with it. I had about 5 minutes worth of me talking, and it all had that monotone feeling to it or sound to it. And so I cut down to about a minute and a half, I think is where it came up to. And I'm okay with that. I just kept cutting stuff out because I kept thinking, well, I don't want. It's hard to listen to someone speak in that really monotone sense anyway, whether it be 1 minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So let's try to have it as least as possible, as minimum to a minimum as possible. And as well as that, I'm going to do the whole like show don't tell thing, which is, it's good to have that as at a maximum, because originally I did this, this long, not this long, but this portion which was a montage showing off the schedule, like Monday and Thursday I do this, and then, or Monday and Friday I think, and then Tuesday and Saturday and Wednesday, and then Thursday and Sunday, whatever. And I actually scripted. There was supposed to be me talking about what I did each time, and that was just so boring. And then when I finally like worked out all those quirks, then it came to editing and putting together from scratch. Although there is, stock footage, it's pretty much from scratch. Thing that's about 3 minutes long, and basically it's about like just under 3 minutes, I think, and it took me about 4 hours from beginning to end as just a concentrated period of 4 hours where I just did nothing but just think about it and do it. And at the end, I was happy-ish, but there was like, if I had a week to do this, I could have made it so much better. So there's that thought of like, fuck, I fucking messed it up. But people enjoyed it, so I guess that's okay. But it is definitely a rougher start to the year. I know I'm already running over the time that I wanted to, meaning it's now 13-ish minutes rather than 10. But I'm gonna keep going just a little bit because I wanted to just talk about one quick thing, which is the videos I've put out or that I've scheduled so far. I'm quite happy about, because I actually have been trying to improve on things that I wanted to. So, one big thing I know I pointed out to myself, not to you, not to you viewers, but it's just the aspect of sound effects. So, like, I would always have, since the beginning of my channel, these words that would pop up on screen, very Markiplier-esque, and a lot of my editing is very Markiplier-esque when you think about it. But it was just words. There wasn't any effects. There was no real impact of it coming on the screen or any like sounds. No sounds, no visuals, cues, just the words popping up. And that's less enjoyable. Whereas now, I really try pretty hard, and I'm still learning, and it's still not as good as what I want it to be, but there's more of an animation type thing going into every word that comes on the screen, and then there's a bit of sound effects here between a Squidward walk, a quack, so that's one thing. And then the other thing that I'm really trying to get better at, especially in these Let's Plays, and you can really tell in I think Resident Evil 7 and the later episodes of Resident Evil 2, because that's, when I actually started warming up, I could kind of understand how not. And I'm still not the best at this. I'm not talking like, oh, I have it all figured out, because I don't. I really don't. But I do understand a little bit better how to commentate, what to say, what not to say, a good flow. I understand that sometimes silence is a good thing, not all the time, but sometimes it is, just to make breaks and such. And so in these Let's Plays, you can tell that I do have a bit better things to say and a better way of saying them. And that, I guess, just comes from me wanting to improve on it, but also because at the very, very beginning, I had this big idea of complexity. I really, really liked the way that Lixian in Markiplier's videos had this little character that would interact with what Mark said, and it was very emotive and stuff. And so in my earlier videos, and even a couple Call of Duty videos that I did back in November, you have this little like cactus dude who interacts with what I say, but that takes a lot of mental gymnastics of me commentating and thinking of jokes that I want to make in the future and bounce off myself. But that's the charm of Lixian and Mark. The thing that makes them so special is that there are two people involved bouncing off of each other. Whereas when I do it, it's just me. And for someone who does not have years of experience commentating over games or what he's doing and making jokes, to suddenly jump into, oh, well, I'm going to bounce off of what I say, which is super masterclass, and do all this editing to amplify it, I really needed to just take everything away and just say, okay, man, just do your thing. Try to make the video as entertaining as possible without the editing. And when you're done that, turn off your recording and then see what you can edit around it. And that's what I'm trying to do at the moment. And I think that so far it's going okay. I mean, it would be nice to have some feedback from the YouTube community and like see if actually get some proper honest feedback from other people, because right now it's just stuff that friends tell me, and you never really know how good, how truthful that is, how honest that is, and also how like really good, like positive that is. Because sure, they like me because we're friends. They like my stuff because it's just more of me being me. But that doesn't mean that just because you like it, 70% of YouTube will like it, and I want to try to improve that, Okay, well, it's been about 18 minutes, I think, and I think this is a good place to stop. I got a lot of things that I wanted to say off. It might not be very coherent, but again, that is stuff that will improve over time. But yeah, the general sense of it is this podcast is a podcast that kind of explores my thoughts and strategies and whatever going into 2023, and just the difficulties I encounter, and also just the fact that the first week has already had a pretty rough start. But it's fun. This is the whole process. This is the whole point of the whole process. And all I can say and all I can see in the future is that it's going to get better, and I'm going to get more interesting and, just better as a creator. So thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of whatever the fuck this is called. I haven't really decided on a name. I did do a couple episodes of a podcast in 2022 with friends and such, but it was a very different vibe. It had other people on it, or it was personal, or it was anecdotes or whatever. And that was called the Cactus Nectar or whatever podcast. But at first I thought that was a good sounding name, but now I'm not so sure. And so next week, same time, I'll have a second episode, and hopefully it'll be a little less all over the place, and hopefully I'll have a few more positive things to say. Very, very last thing, thank you very, very much to the 32nd person who has subscribed to me. That means a lot. Goal is 100. I feel like that's a good goal, a good beginner goal, because it's still a significant number, despite, what it's up against, meaning like millions and stuff. But that's not really important to me at the moment. It's just like focusing on myself, focusing on my own channel, and seeing how far I can take it. So thank you so much to the people who have given me a chance and subscribed. Thank you tenfold more to the people who have given me proper feedback. Until next time, this has been Dummy at the Dummy Dome. I hope you have a very dummy day. Stay dumb.